Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans un Cercle de Lune. Hello friends. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, two things you may have noticed. One, that because I tried to do a French introduction to this video, that this is my series in which I use Tarot de Marseille adjacent, or antique Italian decks to help me unpack the larger weekly spread that I do. And I've got a new spread that I've been reading with starting this week. I switched off from my Tree of Life spread, and I'm now doing one based on the Ace of Wands from the Tarot of the Holy Light by the brilliant Christine Payne-Towler. So I've done that reading. And in case you haven't seen that video yet, I'll put a card up here for you to hop over and take a look at that. I was able to do it in one video, a long one, but still one video this time. You might want to see that before coming back and watching this one, because it will give you the background, the framework from which this reading is being done. So I did that reading, and I do that reading every week, and now for the last 3 lunar cycles, I've been asking the same question. Because the spreads are large, I've been asking for a concise message to be pulled from that spread. So that's the question. What is the central message of this week's Ace of Wands spread? Now, the second thing that you may have noticed is that I'm not in my office. Yeah? I made a boo-boo and I left all my stuff here at home, and I needed it to be in my office for me to videotape. And today is my only day to really devote my time during daylight. I need daylight to give you even this quality of video needs daylight. So I decided I snuck out of work early. I don't do that, but I snuck out of work early so I could come here and do the video for you. Now I didn't have enough time to come here, get the stuff, and go back. If I'd done that, then the sun would have set. So you're stuck in my bedroom with me. That's where we are. So what are we going to do? Now, I will show you that question I just said once more. Oh, I didn't tell you. What was the spread about? Just in case you did see the large video this week. The larger spread was about, basically it was about the 8 of Wands. Yeah, it was about energy being ramped up in our lives in the coming week, and our reaction to that, and how we can navigate that. Yeah, our reaction to that energy could be a little bit reactive. We might start feeling like imposters. We might start feeling a little overly sensitive. We might start wanting to be a little passive aggressive, consciously or unconsciously, to be able to figure out how to keep going, because there's just so much increased intensity. And so there was potential growing up in that spread. There's the potential for us to grab a hold of our fate and perhaps start following our soul light, our soul. Oh, that reminds me of a song, and it's Follow Your Soul Light. Is that a part of a song of Christopher Cross? Heart light, follow your heart light. That's it. Follow your heart light. And then another part of the reading was telling us that we want to come into this with the optimism and the strength and the clarity of the sun, and recognize the opportunity and be careful of hesitating, be careful of indecisiveness. So clear the space out, clear our mental space out, clear our physical spaces out as well, so that we are in clear enough space to receive the energy that is becoming available to us, and the fires have ignited. So we want the space to be able to take advantage of that, to make use of it, without getting burned and without burning other people. That was basically the idea of this week's reading, I think. So then I wanted a clearer, more concise message, and I laid out some cards. So I'll show you the question, I will show you the cards, and then we'll talk about it. Here we go. You just saw the cards. This is from the Jean Noblet deck, which is a type 0 deck. It's not type 1, at least to me, it's not type 1. It's its own thing. It's a type 0 deck. And it's a gorgeous deck. And this version that you saw was the one that was redrawn by Flornoy. Beautiful recreator. I've got two decks from Flornoy. I've got my Noblet and I've got my Dodal. They're a great card. Here's what the backs look like. They're card stock. Yeah. They're flexible enough. They shuffle well enough. They have sharp corners, so you have to be a little bit careful of those if you don't want to round them, and I don't want to round mine. But they're a very nice redrawing of the Noblet. And so you saw from left to right, we had the Six of Wands, the Death card. Well, I'm sorry. Well, okay, so let's talk about that in a moment. The Queen of Swords, the Two of Swords, and then the Knight of Cups. So we got Wands, we got Cups, we got Swords, we got a Major Arcana, no coins, no denier. Something to take note of. But also, you may be wondering, what the heck, what the frig? Why are there 5 cards out there? Now, I think you probably know if you're a returning customer, a returning visitor, that I try to do 3-card spreads for these readings. And so, which cards do you think I laid out? Now, it didn't start off with the Death card. It didn't start off with card 13. It started off with the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords, Two of Swords, Knight of Cups. But then and the Queen and the Knight were both looking in that direction. We're looking to the left. Correct? They were looking to the left. And so I thought, well, what is the Queen looking at? What's on her mind? And I pulled a card. It was the Death card. Card 13. And I thought, oh, interesting. But that card's also looking to the left. What's on Death's mind? And so I pulled another card and we got the Six of Wands. And I thought, okay, good. That's a full stop. So, we're going to be reading this series of cards from right to left. So we'll start with the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups, beautiful card, lovely redrawing. The greens, the blacks, the light blues, just a fabulous card, and the background being a kind of creamy texture softens the look of the card out nicely. So it looks, there's a calmness to this redrawing of the Knight of Cups, of the Noblet. You see the large discs behind, at the back of the Knight of Cups, which could be a hat, but it could be a disc of like air energy. It could be something else as well. The clothes on the figures in this deck are just gorgeous. So what is the Knight? The Knight is following the heart. We're asked to follow our heart. What is the central message of this week's Ace of Wands spread? Well, we begin with following our heart. And yes, we're allowed to be idealistic and romantic. Romantic in a intimate relationship, sexual kind of way, romantic, yes, but also romantic as in like not a romance novel, but like romantic romance music, a romance. Yeah, the 13th, 14th, 15th centuries of romance, which is different from what we think of as romantic movies, right? There's a difference there. But that kind of romance is also possible. The knight in shining armor, the damsel in distress, the wandering minstrel, that kind of romance. From Roma, romance, yeah, the Roman culture moving through the Middle Ages. Also offering our heart, being ready, willing, and able to offer our hearts to either someone or to the situation, the thing that we're focusing on. We could offer our hearts to the thing we want to do. Does that make sense? That's also part of this. Being open, sincere, and simple. Because in that larger spread, we saw the potential for not doing any of that, that imposter syndrome and hiding away behind closed doors to try and figure out ways to get what we want done. This card is saying no. Be open, be sincere, be simple. Put love into action. Now, we can take good actions with sincere hearts of love. That's how we begin to navigate the Eight of Wands. So this open, sincere, loving, romantic, idealistic one is moving into the Two of Swords. Yeah? We see this vibrant flower growing between the divided mind. And so we have the idea of getting clarification, gathering information as well, developing our insights. Imagination and daydreams are possible, but allowing our imagination and our daydreams to inform how we can prepare for doing what we want to do. Now, our intellect might be passive. We might be waiting to act here, but we could be preparing. Yeah. So we're following our heart. We're idealistic. We're offering our heart. We're being open and clear. We're finding clarity. We're gathering information, developing our knowledge and our insights using the tools of imagination and daydream as well. Daydream is a tool. Are you calling me a tool? Not that is a tool, right? And so we move into the Queen of Swords, who begins. We started off. I mean, we just had that Two of Swords. Now we have the Queen of Swords, who is confident in taking hold of those ideas. The Queen of Swords is the one of perspective, clear-mindedness, powerful intellect, able to use it in effective and useful ways. Open to new ideas. They're not rigid. I mean, some people, I am clear, I am honest, I know what's going on, I can see what's going on, and they become rigid in that, right? The Queen of Swords is open to new ideas, to feeding their intellect. And they can become defensive, though. Now, the potential pitfall is defensiveness and defending their ideas. Saying what they want to say, or saying what they want to say, no matter what. You know, there's an aggressive way of doing it and just a clear way of doing it. So we want to be sure that we're doing it in clarity, in honesty, but not in aggressive, manipulative, getting ready to not cut off with their heads kind of clarity, which is potential, but easily navigatable. We can circumvent that, I believe. And so where's her mind on? What is her mind on? Her mind is on card 13. Now, traditionally in Tarot de Marseille, this is the unnamed card, but you'll see that this card in the Noblet is named. It's called La Morte, and this card is one of the earlier decks. Just saying. It's not because, well, it's a later deck, so they decided to add the name onto it. No, there was a name on a deck, and then they decided, no, let's go without the name. So, this is what? This is death, yeah, this is change, ending cycles are possible. But in an echo of that censor card which was an oracle card, which gave us the advice of clearing out our sacred space. Here we also have the idea of eliminating what blocks us, which could be part of that clearing away our space, physical space and mental space as well. Cleaning up, cleansing, keeping only that which is essential, only that which benefits us. Yeah? There could be some harvest available as well, but then the chaff, we want to clear the chaff out. We don't want to leave the chaff there on the ground that we can step on and trip over and mess up our shoes with, right? So this card is reminding us to clear out the crap and harvest what's good and clear out the crap. Education of the old to make way, getting rid of the old to make way for the new. Now, clearing out the space. And new is coming because that Eight of Wands has new energy. And sure, there's suffering, there's decline possible in this card here, but that's not what's on her mind, I don't think. I think the Queen of Swords here has a mind to things are a-changing, cycles are moving on, clear out space, harvest what's good, keep that and get rid of the rest. Be ready for a profound transformation because it's a coming. And so what's on Death's mind? What's on Death's mind is a beautiful card. Six of Wands. Now, 6, the pleasure and beauty of our passions and our creativity. So pleasurable actions. As we clear out our space, we do what we love. Now, and that's how we get our vitality. We regain our vitality. Because remember, we're in this space of a lot of ramped up energy, which might drain our inner vitality. But here, we love what we do, we enjoy what we're doing, and our inner vitality can be built up, stoked. Also, sexuality and creativity can be fully expressed here. We are happy to be who we are and doing what we are doing. We find unique and personal ways of expressing ourselves. The beauty of who we are and our creativity can be expressed here. And that is the accomplishment. That is when I described in the longer video, the hand reaching out to grab the sapling. That's this. That is that grasping of the sapling. It's enjoying being who we are, doing what we're doing, finding our own unique personal expression. Our vitality is revitalized. And so we reach that enjoyment of that. Starting off by being the Knight of Cups. Being open, being romantic, but offering ourselves, offering our hearts to perhaps what we're doing or other people. Clarifying what we're thinking about, developing our insights and using our intuition, and then stepping into our inner Queen of Swords and having a clear perspective, realizing our clear ideas, our clear-mindedness, and our powerful intellect, clearing shit out, keeping what's good, and then reveling in who we are and being what we want to be and doing what we want to do. That is the central message of this week's larger spread. Does that make sense? If you saw that, does that make sense? I think it does. I really, really think it does. I hope it makes sense for you too. So friends, here we are. If you're interested in this deck, there will be a link to the Flornoy deck below, and there will also be a link to the Artisan Tarot deck as well, because their redrawing is a little easier to use, frankly. It's casino cardstock, the corners are rounded, it's a very white background, it's a thinner cardstock, but it's very durable, and it's lovely to use. So, I'll put links to both of these. This deck I love both, get both. Just saying. Also, hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube knows that you got something out of this video and it will draw more eyes to the channel. It helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed and hit that alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. And also a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I would really, really, really love to hear from you. And I'd be grateful to hear from you. If you want a reading from me, my email address is below. thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, we'll get you a reading. Friends, here we are. Thank you very much for joining me on this progressive this progression of reading. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.